pressure up. I be setting fires for the thrill, I can't get enough. Knocked down, never knocked out. When I'm in the clutch, leaving limits crushed. Gotta get it, ain't no giving up. Nah, got the whole world waiting on my fall. Me against the odds, bet it all. Better stack them tall, non-stop, fighting non-stop. I've been through it all. Eyes locked, coming in hot, breaking through my walls, yeah. Try to count me out, but I'm on the grind, yeah. Count down till I'm going live, yeah. Feel it like a fire on the inside. Rose from the ashes to survive. I'm coming alive.
I'm concerned, dog, I never have to check it. Me, myself, and I got bigger plans, you might have guessed it. This is my world from sea to sky, I didn't plan it. Evil combated, people will try to test your patience. Keep my back from the reaper who's hunting the running, you gotta decide. I'm just controlling my fate, I'm just controlling my fate, oh. I'm just controlling my, I'm just controlling my, I'm just controlling my. It's all the same, so it's all right.
Welcome to the LCS waiting room. It is Soul Fighter theme day. Let's go.
Of course it is.
We obviously got
Obviously.
the theme. I'm dressed like an anime delinquent.
I'm just.
I know what your theme is.
I think I got it.
Yeah, I mean, I like
Did my
these.
best.
It's pretty cool.
Wait until you see Mark. He did his best too.
We are joined by senior composer at Riot Music, Brendan Williams. Thank you so much for coming on the show to talk to us a little bit about creating this soundtrack for Soul Fighter, right? So not just the song that we just saw coming alive in the trailer, but also an entire EP, right?
That's right, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me. Yeah.
All right. How, just generally, like, give us an idea of who are you, how long have you worked at Riot, what are some of the other things you've worked on, other games here, or League of Legends stuff specifically?
Yeah, I've been at Riot now a little over 3 years. Started in early 2020, right as the pandemic.
Yeah, interesting
was hitting.
time to start.
Yeah, it was a very, very crazy time to start because I was also moving from Seattle before the job here. But before that, I'd actually worked with Riot a little bit already on Legends of Runeterra. I was brought in as an additional composer on some stuff. And yeah, since I've been at Riot, I've worked on all kinds of things. Worked on the Star Guardian campaign last year with Porter Robinson. Worked on Cassante last year and many, many other things now. And yeah, it's been pretty incredible so far.
So what went into the creation of the music for Soul Fighter?
Well, the big thing was like trying to figure out what the sound should be.
Yeah.
Because we have some like very strong like visual influences with everything that like suggests like shonen anime, but then there's the big fighting game angle, which kind of also sometimes has overlap, but sometimes is pretty different.
Yeah.
And then there's also just kind of looking at what Riot has done before. Like, you know, we've done other kind of anime influenced things. Battle Queens, we did like a full-on J-Rock anime intro type of thing. And so we wanted to do something distinctly new for Riot, but also through discussions with all the different teams, we knew we wanted to find a sound that felt really unique and specific to Soul Fighter. So something that's like influenced by shonen anime and fighting games, and then all these other kinds of things. So yeah, early on I was looking at a lot of like, I was experimenting a lot, like getting into these kind of, listening to a lot of modern J-pop, and a lot of there's some really cool funky and fusion-y influences, and I have kind of a fusion background, so I thought that would be really fun to do. But then our marketing team was really into the idea of doing something more hip-hop driven, taking influence from some both certain types of fighting games, but also a few different specific shonen anime that they thought had done that really well. And but so basically people's opinions were all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, what
and
is
then
this
you're just
going
like,
to be?
yeah, by the way, just make it good.
Yeah, and so what I kind of decided to do is, instead of like picking one of those clear directions, I was like, this is supposed to be over the top and extra. Let's just smash it together and come up with something a bit ridiculous that goes a little all over the place. So there's 8-string guitar, there's like EDM builds, there's all the hip hop elements, and there's a guitar solo.
Yeah.
And even some of my prog metal influences, which is another thing I have a big background in.
Nice. I know you guys chose 2 very specific artists to collaborate on this. It was Vo Williams and Boslin. Vo Williams, who I actually didn't know I knew from the Tampa Bay Lightning theme of, I believe, 2021. But talk to me about, with all of the influences that you mentioned, with certain trends in music being to fuse a lot of different things together, why these 2 specific artists were chosen and what that collaboration was like.
Yeah, well, it had started with me working on the instrumental and finding something I felt like it was going to work thematically for the campaign and the whole event and everything. And we intended from the start to feature rappers on it, but we weren't sure exactly what that could be. So it took a lot of experimentation and research before we were able to hone in on them. And once we heard like a first demo back from Vo, I was like, he gets it. It was like exactly kind of what I was after. You know, he's like the hype man, like you mentioned. He does sports events, and he has this like just raw energy that gets you hyped, which is kind of what we knew we wanted for this. So yeah, once we got a first demo back from him, he was like 90% of where I wanted it to be.
Oh, wow.
And so then it was just like we were able to hit it off and like focus on the fine details and just fine tune it right away. And then for Boslin, that was really exciting to us because we wanted something that would really contrast with Vo to kind of capture, you know, it's all about the diversity of these different types of contestants from around the world that are coming together for the Tournament of Souls. And Boslin is also rap, but a totally different take and kind of more that pitch, like sung approach. And he, instead of being like loud and aggressive, is more of this like laid back, confident swagger that felt like a perfect counterpoint. So yeah, once we brought him in for the second verse and then the build after that, it just felt like we had this really unusual kind of unique combination, especially with all those other genre influences.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. One of the interesting things I think you highlighted is that you guys still didn't necessarily have a grasp of what Soul Fighter was going to be quite yet. And I know for that, we're going to check in with Mark and Raz and a few members of the narrative writing for Soul Fighter.
Hello. Thank you very much, Emily. I'm sitting here with Ty and Taylor, the lead and associate narrative writers for this event. So big picture, tell us what's going on with the Tournament of Souls, the background, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So it's this massive event that's hosted in the world of Soul Fighter every few years or so, that, like they were talking about over there, sort of brings together a bunch of diverse fighters from around the world to fight on the like most massive stage one can imagine, and it's hosted by Viego, and he, is watching from up above in his little viewing room, and yeah, there's all of the champs that we have on the roster are fighters, and they all, have, something that they're looking to achieve when they go there. And the prize for winning is your soul's desire. So it's not money, but it is essentially like a wish almost that is granted if you win. So they're all going there trying to win something to get their soul's desire granted to them.
Now, they asked Brendan this for the musical perspective of it, but what was your inspirations, like the two of you, in terms of building this world? Because it looks amazing. We saw the trailer coming in, right? And you talked about the individual characters. Like, what was the core inspiration coming into this?
Yeah, I mean, similarly, a lot of shonen anime, a lot of 2D fighting games were our inspiration. Yeah, and we both grew up playing a lot of those types of games and watching those animes, so we took that wide breadth of experience and just sort of threw it at League of Legends.
Yeah, just kind of smashed it all together into one go.
I have to ask then, Taylor, best tournament arc in anime in your opinion?
Oh my god.
There we go, already.
No,
Is it Hunter x Hunter? Is it Yu Yu Hakusho?
It's clearly Dragon Ball Z.
Fate Zero, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
There's like, I shoot an exam. I don't know.
See, you're trying to get me canceled.
I have strong feelings on what I like the best.
I mean, I'm not going to say which one is the best, but I
Yeah.
can say that which ones that I talked to Ty a lot about, because he was like, I don't watch a lot of anime. I don't know what's happening. I was like, I got you, don't worry. Yeah, I really like Yu Yu Hakusho a whole lot. That one I actually watched with my brother when I was growing up, so it kind of a special place in my heart for that one, because I got to bond with him. And then also Hunter x Hunter. I watched that one pretty recently, probably like 2-ish years ago, so that's kind of fresh in my mind. So I like both of those a lot. Those are definitely up there. I'm sorry, Dragon Ball Z, though, it's kind of...
It's basic.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I do have to
Speak for Riot when he says that. This is,
Yeah, exactly.
I like Cell Saga, but I don't know.
He's
about
losing a few... This is disgusting. Look, okay.
You have to question. I'm sorry.
Well, all right. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to answer mine. So in a lot of these games, and especially in the shows that he's talking about, there's a lot of character building, really strong character building. My favorite from like reading the stories of these characters was Gwen and Pyke, and how Gwen saving Pyke, but also now having to fight against him. Like, what characters that you guys ended up building, that the narrative that you enjoyed the most?
Do you want to talk about this one, or both of us?
I mean, I think we have a similar answer, which we got to sort of pair different champs with champs they're not normally paired with on the core Runeterra. So yeah, Gwen and Pyke, even though they met up in Sentinels, we got to sort of build a closer relationship for them here, which was really fun. And then similar but different, Lux and Eve have a pretty
Antagonistic.
relationship with each other, where Eve is like hunting Lux across the entire world and literally pursues her to this tournament to try to kill her specifically.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that stuff. That's what makes the tournament arc so good, is you get these clashes that you wouldn't normally get, whether it's hero versus hero or like finally settle the score. So that's really sick. Viego being the main villain, this might not be the right question for narrative versus like the design, but what is the eyeball on his chest? Is there like a lore?
Looks like a weakness.
Yeah, like if you poke it, does it blink? Like what?
Yeah, don't punch the eye. Just completely ignore it. Definitely not a weak spot.
Sorry, it's just something that like every time I watch, I'm like, what is that?
Oh, for sure. I think the best answer I can give to that is we will reveal that in due time.
Okay.
Nice.
There definitely is a narrative reason for it. He doesn't just have like a third eye that's chilling on his chest.
Okay.
There's a reason he's
No
got
spoilers
that.
then.
Yeah.
Well, then, speaking about characters that you wouldn't ordinarily see like conflicting with each other, with the one you just mentioned, how about Viego and Samira? Viego being the guy that started this tournament to begin with, seems very antagonistic, and Samira, who seems like the main heroine in this tale.
Yeah, sure. So for that one in particular, it was really important for me to really push for Samira to be one of the main characters of this overall experience. It's something that I was like constantly talking with Ty about. I was like, I really, really want her to be at the forefront of this because she's one of the only melanated characters that is in this particular cast or roster that we have for Soul Fighter right now. And especially since she was one of our premium skins of this lineup along with Viego, I thought it made perfect sense for her to be kind of the foil to a lot of his experiences. Obviously, as Ty has also said, we will reveal more about the relationship in due time, but that was something that I was like, please let us make it happen, because there are always creative differences that happen behind the scenes. But I was really, really happy that everyone ended up aligning along the way. And I think we came up with something really, really cool for her.
Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome to see people from all over the globe of Runeterra coming together, all the different people. So very excited to see where we go, the reveals that are coming. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this one. But that's going to do it for this portion. We're going to go get ready for the actual LCS show coming up right after this.
Multi-stun into the back, tactical flashes, but cannot escape the ignite and more. Shaden drawing first blood in his first game here in the LCS.
Nice, Jatt.
Don't take the cannon from me. Good job.
Stay away, stay away.
Good babes. Just chill.
God, dude.
God, dude. Who has fans? Tell me.
Everyone is Troopers fan, no?
My fans.
I wanna watch Troopers.
Is River fans? What do you mean?
I wanna watch Troopers performance on stage.
River goes in, followed up by Gory. Yone steps back to Moonlight Vigil, but River finds him in the end, and who he zoned up. APA Summit goes into stasis. A GA pops here as well for the GG side. Double kill afforded to Gory and Golden Guardians. They get the ace, and they're looking to take the game.
Just out there.
Don't be scared for fight right now.
Yeah, I think it looks like they want to trade. Falcon's going bot.
Should we block it one time?
Yeah, go play one more. They give me bot. I think too late to block.
Yeah, too block. Too late to block.
Just try to get the wave. Nice. Nice. I go Hero, okay?
We just hit mid. We hit mid.
Yeah, you get hit. I can do Hero. Okay, 5-man both. 5-man both.
Yeah.
Good.
Good job, Impact.
Oh, Impact! Wow.
Baby, I rip.
What the Yeah, nice.
Now the damage back on Eternal as he rocket jumps over the wall, trying to get himself out as Insanity pops the Blossom, but it ain't gonna do a damn thing! Prince picks him up, and TSM loses Turtle to a long-range shock blast. That's 4 TSM bodies hitting the ground. First kill of the fight over to Energy. Blabber's in the middle of everybody, and he has to try to escape with a phase rush, but a nice knockback from VicLa. Now he's all out. Now they're all in. Energy have already found the kills they need, and they still want more. Evanes trying to fight back. Berserker goes on a killing spree and picks up VicLa. Evanes chasing after the enemy AD carry, but he won't be able to find him. Berserker's the last man standing, and Ignore knocks him down. The Nexus turrets are already falling. C9, your Nexus, C9, it's under attack. They may have won the fight, but it's Energy winning the game. LeBlanc, the Tower Terror, will take the Nexus, and Energy will take the game.
Thank you.
Your old teammate just started his first. Did I say it wrong? What is it? What is? How do you say it?
It's Poom.
Poom?
Poom.
It might just be a flip over the Elder. Closer's still alive, but he's very, very low, and he has no flash. Someday coming in through the pit. Poom in the front line, but Devil has already killed him. Super Mega Inferno Bomb, not going to find it just yet. The Dragon goes the way of Dig. Devil tries to get away. A little bit more damage, ain't quite going to find him, but there's the Elder shutdown. Dignitas winning the fight. They've already killed 2. Looking for the last bit of them. Rich gets a double kill with the Elder laser. Dignitas just took out the Thieves and punched their ticket to playoffs.
All right, Soul Fighter theme day. Foldy sheet ready to go as the contestants duke it out in the LCS. As you
10
see,
games left.
A lot of scenarios from just 10 games. So let's go ahead and
It's
look
like
at
twice my height.
Goes half the size after one game.
It's definitely twice your height, but yeah, it goes in half every time something happens. So let's go ahead and look at what's going to happen today for these teams. Here are the standings and schedule combined. You can see a tie at the top of the table, pretty close for top 6.
Yeah, some amazing clumping going on.
Yeah.
The standings.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
They're clumping up.
There's definitely some clumps that will hopefully get settled today.
Unclumped.
No one is technically eliminated yet, but there will most likely be some by the end of the day unless some crazy stuff happens. Here is the bracket. If you did start it today, you have FlyQuest and Immortals missing out on the playoffs. Golden Guardians and C9 getting the bye into the upper bracket. Then you have the 4 through 6 fighting through, or 3 through 6, excuse me, fighting in the upper bracket. Dig and 100 Thieves out in the losers bracket.
Yeah, and like for me, the interesting thing is like the what if scenario if a TSM versus EG happened. Like who knows what would happen there? Even though Evil Genius is at 3rd place, they were a team that's been having a sort of a slump last week. Whereas TSM has honestly been in that resurgence with Insanity. So it's interesting to see series like these and play it out in your mind. Whenever you ask players, they're like, the best of one. we're just preparing for the playoffs in a best-of-5 scenario. So I'm genuinely interested in that one. Obviously, Evil Geniuses, to me, they seem a lot more diverse. So interested to see what will happen by the end of the week.
Yeah, I mean, TSM seem like they're slumping, like you said, and then the other interesting thing to me is EG with Shaden, right? Coming in jungle and how they're going to look going forward, because obviously they faced Immortals, who are unfortunately at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of things can still change, but one thing that's not changing is the dates for the LCS playoffs. Thursday, Friday is when they're going to be, and then there will be a couple of 4 series weeks, and those will play across Thursday through Sunday. So that means
see you later, Wednesdays.
Wednesdays are
Rip
dead
Wednesday.
to us.
No more Wednesdays.
We're killing Wednesdays.
Broke up with Wednesdays. Saturdays, Sundays are my best friends.
We're killing Wednesdays.
I
Give him
love
my
6
bat
day
back.
week now.
I love Saturday, Sunday. That'll happen 3 times during the playoffs.
Twice. So, yeah, the first week of playoffs will just be Thursday, Friday. Then the next 2 will be Thursday through Sunday. And then there's finals weekend, which is again
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. That's where we're looking for playoffs. But of course, we still have to get there. And it's time to talk about who is looking good. And one of them is surprisingly NRG.
Yeah. Topo. Rearrange those letters, it says CLG. But I will say, this, when I was looking at it yesterday, was a little shocking to me of how good could Energy actually be, because you see their record against the top 5 teams. It's the best of anyone in the LCS, and they started so miserably. To still actually have a chance to be at the top of the league makes them a really dark horse.
Yeah, and it's been interesting talking to them, right? Because when we sat down with them initially, when they started their current win streak, they were like, yeah, it's on us. Like, they were not looking at other teams as being teams they were afraid of. They're like, we've been making mistakes. These are our mistakes. We're owning them. We're going forward. And NRG are such an interesting team. Another thing I really like that fans have taken from CLG to NRG is the not rational gaming.
Not rational gaming?
Yeah, so instead of counter logic gaming, they're now not rational gaming.
The other thing there to note is that C9, 3-5 against top of the table teams. It's actually Golden Guardians in second, and then it's like Team Liquid and
The 0-8 from 100 Thieves is, I just couldn't get my eyes off of that one.
I didn't look at it.
I know that's not what this is. I just saw it down. I was like, oof, that's not good.
To be honest, I didn't look at it.
The ADHD coming up.
Well, I was just C9 3-5. They've lost a lot of big.
Really shaky.
Yeah, I think it's a question of MSI slump. Are they, having gone to multiple international tournaments, you kind of like lower your level during the regular season because it's hard to get as excited when you're not playing against fakers and people like that. So who knows for them?
Yeah.
The other question that we have to answer is not just who's going to be doing well in playoffs, but who might not make it. And there's currently a 3-way race for the last playoff spot between Immortals, FlyQuest, and 100 Thieves. And Treatz himself is wondering who's not going to make it in.
Winning helps.
That's true. I've heard such a claim before.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Treatz, win, and 100 Thieves lose, and you're in.
At least IMT can put themselves. So IMT.
We have a tool.
We do have a tool.
Let's just use the tool.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's using the tool? It's not me.
Get in there.
I'll show the FlyQuest.
Are your feathers getting in the way
They're
from
gonna
your
get in the
soul
way.
fighting?
They're gonna get in the way.
So listen,
Why don't you turn them the opposite way, like Mark?
We're looking at the bottom, so I'm going to flip these records around, where you can see the bottom 3 right here, Immortals, FlyQuest. So if Immortals wins, 100 Thieves loses both of their games, and then FlyQuest wins at the end, there's an interesting thing that is going to happen. My feathers are trolling.
I love this.
This is a Jatt problem.
I'm enjoying this.
To have at least a tiebreaker for top 8. All of these teams have a chance to be tied. With one more Immortals win, you would actually have a 3-way tie for 8th. But this can change very easily. All that has to happen is 100 Thieves wins one of their games, and as you can see the percentages, they would actually just be the 8th place team. So like 100 Thieves gets to end any of this. So obviously FlyQuest and Immortals get to have this little duel, but none of that will matter if 100 Thieves wins a game.
Well, but the thing is, they're playing NRG and Golden Guardians, who we just said were the top half of the team.
Yeah.
So there's a decent
But what's
chance.
their record
let's
against
just say
bottom
there's a
teams?
decent chance that 100 Thieves loses both their games. That's when these things do get interesting for Immortals and FlyQuest. So Immortals, again, needs to beat FlyQuest and NRG. The FlyQuest one is harder because they also have to beat C9, right? If they don't beat C9, they don't even get a tie for 8th, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's with the Immortals win. But if they do win this one, then they still don't get a tie for 8th. So it's pretty important for them that Immortals doesn't do well and 100 Thieves doesn't do well.
Yeah, they're 100 Thieves. I think I said this yesterday, but they're 100 Thieves' biggest hater now. right? Because they essentially need them to lose out.
And these were just a tiebreaker. This isn't full clinch.
So they're united in hating 100 Thieves, but they're going to kill each other for the first game of the day here because it is FlyQuest versus Immortals.
Unfortunately.
In game 1. So one of their dreams dies here, if I understood that correctly.
Not necessarily. No. So
if Immortals
wins, there is still a scenario where there is a 3-way tie for 8th if 100 Thieves lose both of their games and FlyQuest beats C9 at the end and Immortals wins their next game.
You can get a 3-way tie.
Yes.
Poggers. Good news for FlyQuest. Impact is playing very well.
Yes, he is. It's actually funny. So I guess we can take a look at the SOT and see what the in-game comms were in his 1v4.
Yeah, just yesterday.
But, you know, I can understand not expecting the Xayah to be there as Turtle's just getting roasted.
Oh my goodness, Impact just cooks him. It's Yordle for dinner. And now TSM is trying to kill the chef. Can they get him? Boogie's gonna drop second. Impact says send more men. He is absolutely styling on these guys. They sent 4. Impact sent 2 of them back in body bag.
It's a 1v4 from Impact. He kills 2 and gets out alive.
Yeah, I think it looks like they want to trade. Valkyrie's right bot.
Should we block it one time?
Yeah, go play one more. They take me bot. I think too late to block.
Yeah, too late to
Just try to get the wave. Nice. I go Hero, okay?
We just hit mid. We hit mid.
Yeah, you can hit. I can do Hero. Okay, 5 men both.
Yeah.
Good.
Good job, back.
Oh, Impact! Wow.
Maybe I ripped.
What the fuck? Yeah, nice.
2 things I got from those comms. The first is that Impact was silent for the vast majority of it. And then I think it's Spica telling him like, okay, just like try to, you know, take one of them with you, like just try to get out. And then he ends up owning all of his bonus.
The GOAT.
Yeah. So, by the way, if you want to get in on all this playoff predicting action, the Foley sheet is available on the LoL Esports Stats Twitter. It is pinned there. Go ahead and follow that. And also, shout out to MZ Leo the Chosen, who used to make these on his own.
As just a community member.
Just as a community member. We hired him, and now he's helping us work on this stuff. He helped make that tool with a bunch of people. It's really sick. We're going to be using it a lot throughout the day. Speaking of the day, let's go look at predictions to see what we all expect to happen.
Oh, brother.
Ooh. Wow,
As always, the sheeple strike again.
Zimmerman strikes again.
Raz is actually joining me a little bit, though, with the EG prediction over
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah.
No, you went TL.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I said you're the only one with EG over TL.
Oh, yeah. I think with Shaden alongside, they've actually looked quite good. So I'm high on EG, but that was definitely the toughest matchup for me to decide on.
Yeah, and I think it was obviously the toughest matchup for everyone to decide on too, because I feel like we are suddenly not sure where EG fits. They were able to snap their loss streak. It was to Immortals, who, like we said, are fighting to get into playoffs at 8th place. So I am curious to see Shaden now go up against Pioshik, who has just been all aggressive all the time on a TL team that really likes to play with pushing lanes.
Or APA going up against Jojo Pion. This has been the toughest week for him, so I'm interested to see how he does.
That's all game 4. Game 1 is up first with playoff implications on the line. I will also say my boy Tactical and Prince fighting for my heart. Both of them were trying to pick me up with this sick outfit in the pre-show. So whoever wins gets my number.
Impact saw me in the hall and just laughed. He just laughed and walked away.
Bienvenidos and welcome to the Soul Fighter Arena! My name is Feather King Raafaa, and I have Pirate Lord Kobe here on the desk. we're going to be taking you
Team
through
Samira, thank you very much.
Team Samira representing here. We got the first 2 games coming your way in just a bit. The first one, huge playoff implications. FlyQuest taking on Immortals here, Kobe, because if either one of them drops this game, they are out of playoffs for sure.
That would be a terrible situation for either of them. So it's a must-win game. So much on this one. I can only see out of one eyeball, but let's get to the champ select.
For FlyQuest, I want to give a quick shout out to the jersey they are sporting today. If you notice, they have the white and red. It is in support of their Valorant Game Changers team that is playing today. So awesome to see them supporting all of their teams on the Rift. As going through the champion select, Kindred, Nico, Poppy taken off the table by FlyQuest. Immortals looking at Tristana, Jace, and LeBlanc. A ton of mid lane bans off the field here.
So a lot of mid lane focus, so leaves up quite a few power picks here across the board. See what FlyQuest are working with here. Seen a lot more people start to pick up importance on Ivern as well.
Yeah.
I wonder if we get to see some more supportive jungles as some of the... okay, so just going to be the flex pick for Kai'Sa first here for VicLa / Prince. I would expect it more towards bottom side for the type of game that FlyQuest go with. But regardless, look for the static shiv Kai'Sa, and immediately they go for the rumble that was hovered already and break up that Kai'Sa Rell combination.
And they also know how well Impact performed on the rumble yesterday in their game. So they wanted
the old casual 1v4 double kill.
Yeah, and still getting out alive, which is, you know, pretty good. They picking up the Rell here.
Hey,
as well
there it is.
But as you called it, the Ivern Spica being able to pilot to great success already. We're going to see what else he can combo with it in this first round.
It just has been so hard for people to punish Ivern super early on, and then you get to scale so nicely with the power of Daisy, with the power of bringing so many of those support items together, with them being so much cheaper, and it allows your actual support to play initiation. Really nice stuff here for FlyQuest. They get the combo.
Yeah.
They've got their enchanter support here from Spica with the Ivern from jungle, and then it allows Vulcan to be the playmaker. He's been such a good Alistar for this team. It is so good into Rell still. See what he can do, what FlyQuest can do, because yesterday, FlyQuest playing like a completely new team, out of their minds there, racking up the win. They need to keep it going.
And this is spicy here. The Graves locked in for Immortals with their backs against the wall. One of the first wins that Immortals ever picked up in the entire year was that Graves for Kenvi.
Yeah, this is what people want to see from Immortals. When everything is on the line, let Kenvi play his champions. Graves and Kindred. Guess what? It's a Kindred meta. It's going to get banned a lot. So Graves is the go-to here. And Graves, your auto attacks can knock back Daisy. So it is a nice little benefit. It's not like a counter to Ivern, but it is a nice little pick into Ivern because of that added effect. Being able to keep Daisy back really does help, since her knockups and her speed have been increased and has been a big part of the power of the champion. That is going to mean that FlyQuest do get to throw some AD carry bans at Tactical here, though, and Tactical has really been the shining light for Immortals.
Such a glow up from Spring Split, where he and Fleshy weren't always on the same page, but Treatz has done so much to really prop up, as he has affectionately called him, his baby ruler up on stage, trying to make sure that he can shine. Aphelios already being taken off the table. Probably one more AD carry ban to limit that pool away from Tactical.
I like the pick Lilia sign in the audience. I believe
it's good.
We had a Canyon Lilia pick towards his birthday, but Canyon makes a lot of things look good. So we'll
Kanavi
see
also
here.
picked Lilia, so I'm with the Lilia train. It should be picked, especially in this very full-on tank meta in the jungle.
All right, what's it going to be? Tactical. Would be a lot of early skirmishing power there. The Kai'Sa, though, the go-to pick into, or the Xayah, the go-to pick into the Kai'Sas that have been so dominant recently. It looks like that will be the lock in here for Immortals. And Rell has really risen as one of those prime supports to pair with the Xayah because of the combination. You can lock them down for big blade callers so easily.
Yeah.
Xayah is always thought of as this counter-initiation, counter-engaged champion, but it is also a very big burst champion as far as AD carries go, because of the profile of so much damage coming from your abilities.
I mean, Immortals are already prepped for the anti-dive, and FlyQuest are not deterred by it at all. Locking in this Yone, the Fate sealed another great dive engaged champion. If FlyQuest are all in on just diving tactical, then he only has one Featherstorm cast, and he's going to have to use it wisely in these team fights.
Also works super duper well when you have an Ivern jungle here with the Yone, because Ivern can give Yone another jump. It's already difficult to get away from Yones once they're constantly going for these all-ins, but with the Ivern as well, if you can land the Q, plus you get the extra slows from the shields coming through, very powerful mid-jungle duo there. And that does mean they are going to rotate the Kai'Sa into the bottom lane.
Yes! Twisted Fate, baby! We have been seeing rumors about this champion being picked a lot in scrims. I know in Sand and AP have been super hyped about Twisted Fate, and now we get it from Bolulu.
And it's perfect for attacking bottom lane. So much is about bottom lane in current meta, and especially with what you're looking at here, Bolulu. If they can just open up Bolulu for a little bit of roam time here, freedom from mid lane, they can definitely go bottom lane. They've got the Rell, they have the Twisted Fate now as well to be able to look for those bottom side plays.
Before we get onto the Rift, I just want to remind the audience, I did misspeak a little earlier. If FlyQuest do lose this match, they are not completely out. They still have a 3-way tie potentially for 8th place. But if Immortals do lose this match, then they are for sure out of playoffs. So still, a lot on the line here. This game means everything to both of these teams. Being able to secure this win guarantees a little bit of extra life for that run into the 8th seed of playoffs. It's going to come down to this one. We're going to see how both of these teams shake out. Love how the crowd is getting hyped up for this one. I mean, we had a huge turnout for the Soul Fighter event today, but also these last 2 days of games. There's so many potential tiebreakers on stake that obviously that's not going to happen today since it's our 2nd day of the week, but tomorrow we could have so many potential tiebreakers and a long day ahead of us tomorrow.
And both these teams would love to be in some of those. Fighting from the bottom. Both these teams have had such difficult splits here in summer. Very different expectations for both these teams coming in. FlyQuest, of course, had much larger expectations with the acquisition of Vulcan onto the team, and really surprised so many people that they are in the position they are now and have to be fighting at the very bottom for an entryway into playoffs. But here they are. Treatz currently on a ward as well. Looks like not going to be anything too crazy as far as the level 1s do go. Always got to keep in mind invading versus Ivern early can have huge benefits. And it looks like Immortals try and get a little aggressive. They do get a nice little HP off mid lane at the very least.
And it's just only 10 seconds before the minions arrive in the mid lane, so VicLa will not have a chance to recall. Get fully topped off. Down about, looks like 100, 200 HP. That's pretty sizable, especially in a lane where Twisted Fate wants to get early control and push.
And I really have to highlight, because I talk about this every time with Ivern, but if you can invade early and steal away camps that he's already channeled in the early game, already spent health and mana to prep, then it can be very devastating. And Graves is a perfect invade champion. Kenvi on that Graves does go right over the back of the Baron pit. This is exactly what we're looking for. It's been scouted out by FlyQuest. They know, especially on a solo queue champ like this for Kenvi, one of his favorites. Very, very aggressive, always looking for invades, and he's going to try and take the blue buff before Ivern can get there to click it, and it looks like Spica. Ooh, almost 600 HP. Can he get over there?
Does he get it? Oh, wait.
He got it.
Spica was able to snag blue buff, and he smites it away. Kenvi, can he lock him down? No, he has the blast gun to get out. The invade is denied by Spica. He protects his camps, and he's going to be able to walk back and still be on time for his tempo click.
That is huge. He just got in there, was able to get the click before Kenvi could kill it. I want to see in the replay, because Kenvi had his smite, right? He didn't use his smite on red, I'm assuming. We'll have to see about the timer. But really big there for Spica to be able to secure it. Crosses back over, off the vision that his teammates set up for him, defends his camps, and now Spica is in a power position on Ivern. It's going to be Kenvi that has to do a lot of catch-up work here. Now Spica has Smite. Can he get the channel?
Does he get it? Not quite yet. Kenvi is dueling him, so it prevents the channel from going off, but he's still level 3 over level 2 Graves. He stuns him with the Root Maker, and that's the blue buff successfully stolen for Spica El Genio.
Absolutely out of control now. Mid lane as well. VicLa keeping up the pressure here on Bolulu. Push him under tower. Keep on going for these trades. Spica now rules the rift here. 20 CS on the Ivern. Being able to cross back. Gets his own blue buff. Steals away Kenvi's as well. All right, yeah, here's our check if he used it. Oh, he used the smite on the red, so he didn't have smite anyways. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Kenvi didn't have his smite for this one, so Spica's like, yeah, got over there. As long as the channel is finished, all he has to do is go and touch it.
And just off screen, first blood for VicLa. Despite the HP difference that they were able to make at the level 1, Bolulu still falls.
We're witnessing a brand new VicLa, okay? His Jace games were good. Now he's having a supreme opener here on the Yone as well. A solo Bolo. Guess we're gonna have to get a replay on top of our replay, Raafaa, to see what happened there.
Probably. And this is already going from bad to worse for Immortals because they need Twisted Fate to get off in the laning phase early, have that roam time, and now getting soloed.
Yeah, he just did not respect the E range here. VicLa just eased right onto him with the Q already. Hits the knockup and answers flash for flash.
This is going to be so tough now. The fact that Bolulu doesn't have flash, level 6 is coming up for Yone, that all-in threat with the Fate Sealed available. If Spica's there, I'm sure that is definitely a kill guaranteed on the Bolulu.
Well, wave pushing away from Bolulu. Spica walked over a ward to get there, though, so Bolulu does know there's an Ivern in the area, so he's not going to give him a target. Nice safe play here from Bolulu. Knows Ivern's on that side of the map, hovers down to the bottom side. Meanwhile, Spica taking advantage, gets the ward onto Raptors. He's there for the second spawn of Raptors. Should be able to yoink those away as well. His smite has a little bit of a cooldown here, but just wait a couple seconds. As long as you have smite, you can insta-yoink. Thank you very much.
Kenvi walks on over, gets rooted up by Spica, but Bolulu has the help of Treatz so he can securely push in this wave. Treatz is going to hover for a little while, but he can't stay longer. Now needs to head back towards the bottom side of the map. Level 6 is coming up soon for Bolulu and VicLa. Bolulu obviously wants to try and use it to roam to a side lane and snowball, but the fact that he doesn't have flash means it's going to be very difficult for him to safely push in this wave against VicLa because he has that all-in threat.
Yeah, plus, if you're looking at bottom lane, Prince does have the cleanse, and he hasn't had to burn any summoners yet. So should be able to keep themselves safe there, FlyQuest, even if the early Twisted Fate level 6 roam does come out and target that side. They can at least try and buy time, expending their summoner spells for jungle to come and help support as well. If you're looking at a kill target, though, maybe like a pre-6 Alistar here, since Vulcan did offensively use his flash and does not have access to his own ultimate yet.
Now VicLa's level 6. And you can already see how defensive Bolulu has to be in lane. He can't even step past the mid line of that lane. Otherwise, VicLa can just all in and chunk him out. He needs to reserve HP so he can be ready to join the fight at a moment's notice.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues right here for Immortals. Because they're dealing with so much mid-jungle pressure here, and Spica comes down with Vulcan, they have to respect these constant power moves. VicLa able to push out mid lane. They come through with Vulcan and Spica, take away your control wards, push you off Dragon, no problem. And they secure a lot of safety for the side of FlyQuest, looking towards the bottom half of the map as well, and see if they can get anything off of this Hex Flash.
Spica waiting in the wings just to see if Kenvi wanted to get aggressive towards the bottom side of the map. He's going to dash over the wall. Control ward. It's not going to be seen here, but until he takes out the ward, and that should deter this gank unless Kenvi still wants to go forward. Treatz going forward with the Rell. They stun him up. No level 6 on Alistar, so that's an easy cow to fry up for Kenvi.
They're able to get it. Bolulu stopped there, kind of cut off by VicLa. VicLa using the ultimate on Yone to get a big chunk and to stop him, but the damage was done. Like we said, that Alistar pre-6 goes down. Nice initiation from Treatz, and there's a reward for Immortals. They were under pressure, but they come out with a big play. Gank on bottom side first. Big play from Rell out of the brush to be able to get onto Vulcan. The Blade Collar follow-up comes through, and they get the objective afterwards.
Yeah, and just good problem solving from Immortals. They recognize that Bolulu is not in a position to move freely on the map with his flash down during that time, so they say, hey, we're just going to try to wait for Vulcan to step up aggressively. We'll look for the punish, and we can get our Dragon that way.
All right, now we turn our eyes towards the Rift Herald then, since Dragon's already been taken. Spica does have a smite, so he'll save that one for the Rift Herald. And there it was. Treatz got the combo onto Alistar, got the early ignite down. Blade Collar, no problem. Then VicLa uses his ultimate to make sure Bolulu can't join. But as we know, the Alistar was dead anyway. They didn't even need Bolulu to make his way down.
Rift Herald started up by FlyQuest here, 1100 HP.
Eyeball hits!
Okay, they secure it, but can they actually pick up the eye itself? Immortals are defending it with their very lives. Impact is taken over with the all-out. So isolate Solo on the top side of the map. A lot of damage from Impact. The flash from Solo doesn't matter. Impact slays him.
So I think Bolulu could have been able to take that because the eyeball was facing him. Regardless, Spica still gets the Rift Herald with the smite. They can't pick up the eyeball, and they end up losing Solo in the 1v1. Spica comes by for
He's
the
level
grab.
6. Kenvi is only level 5. He has flash. He's going to wait for a quick draw in the mid lane. VicLa is making sure that Bolulu cannot join the fight. Kenvi is able to get out, but that is his flash gone.
What an exciting one here at FlyQuest. Up to over 1,000 gold lead for themselves to try and fight off Immortals, even though Immortals did get the successful play on bottom side and start the dragon stacking. So much gold here now, the favor of FlyQuest.
Pretty sizable lead as well for VicLa, mainly. If they can continue snowballing this Yone, we've seen Yones who got super ahead early on before, because we know that Yone in the early game, maybe not as powerful, but that first 2 item spikes comes online and it feels almost God mode at that point.
And it's even on one item when you've got an Ivern jungle too to support you. The extra shields come through, everything here. So strong mid jungle, offensive power for FlyQuest. Spica comes in with the sweeper, with the Daisy out. Try and take over this blue buff, and his smite is ready. So once again, another counter jungle, very easy for him.
This is the part of the game where it feels suffocating for Kenvi to play, especially against an Ivern. As you get more and more levels on this champion, the ability to not only just smite away camps is just still the same, but then your camp timers are just even expedited, just because the time for it to mature and be able to take away is just a lot sooner. And Solo might get collapsed on here, top side. Throws down the equalizer, but he's got VicLa and he has to deal with the 1v2. I don't think you're winning this one, buddy. Arena 2v2, but Solo forgot to bring his partner.
It is so hard to play when you have such a big mid deficit there for Immortals. So even though Solo there on the Rumble starts it up and is able to get a decent amount of damage done, doesn't matter. The Yone presence is going to be way, way superior. Comes over, finishes it off. Now we've got the Ignite started by Vulcan too.
Oh no, but Prince is there waiting in the wings. Kenvi thought it was just Vulcan one-on-one, but the blast code sends Prince over the wall. He already used the killer instinct to join, but Kenvi's gonna get collapsed on all sides. There's no escape for him. Now Prince is the one isolated. He's already used his flash, but he's bringing the homies in. VicLa already had used Fate Sealed, so no way to engage onto the Immortals backline. The gold card comes out. Spica spawns Daisy, but no fight will come of it.
That was such a funny flash code too, because Prince also flashed for it as well. So a lot used for FlyQuest. They still get their kill. The burning graves there does end up going down. It will cost them a push on bottom side with all of the investment from Prince and Vulcan, though. Tactical and Treatz have been kind of that single point of power for Immortals, that single good play, the Rell initiation, getting turret plates themselves and controlling dragons. So for Immortals' hopes, it does still revolve around these two. And as we mentioned in Champion Select, that's kind of been the way that this team has gone recently. If Tactical is having a really excellent game, then they definitely can have a hope in those 5-on-5s, but otherwise it has really been difficult for them to hold on.
Yeah. Because if topside and mid are also in a deficit, then slowly the entire map from FlyQuest is going to engorge and just swallow up even the bottom side of the map, where it is the one point that Immortals are doing well in. As we talked about it before, there's so many tools of initiation for FlyQuest. Tactical only has one get out of jail free card in the Featherstorm outside of Flash, and if both of those are gone, Doesn't matter how fed you are, you're going to pop like a balloon.
Gale Force completed for VicLa. Here we go. That's all you need. 1 item power spike. You get the extra kill execution threat from that active. Bolulu's going to be running for his life over and over and over again, especially when you get that jungle support roam here. Vulcan and Spica back out to it.
This has been a great game for VicLa so far. Getting that solo kill despite the early HP deficit has really created a disruption in Immortals' early game plan. Bolulu has not been able to effectively use his ultimate at all this game. Maybe there's something here, but FlyQuest are already jumping onto Bolulu. They cut off the teleport, and now another teleport is coming in from Impact on the top side. Solo has his teleport, but is not making the case to join the fight quite just yet. Just waiting for Immortals to get out.
All right, Immortals have successfully evaded the ult and the Q knockup from VicLa. Now they're teleporting in to actually fight this. Rumble Ultimate is ready. That can do a lot of damage if you can keep them on it. Treatz has flash on the Rell. Q, flash, W, ult from Treatz. Oh.
Prince is approaching from the bottom flank as well, but he would have to join with the rest of his team on the top side. Doesn't want to go through the back door by himself. Needs to wait to use the Killer Instinct at the right moment. Immortals burning down this dragon. 2,000 HP. It leashes on right on back. VicLa's going to look for mid prio. Fate Sealed still not available, 1,000 HP. It is secured by Kenvi, and they throw down the equalizer, and it looks like FlyQuest are just going to back up, but they have the mid-wave prio, and they can look to do some major damage on this turret.
Yeah, Prince trying to work away towards the mid-wave. He has a static shiv as well, so quickly deals with that one. Immortals, happy though. That's Dragon number 2 for them. Despite the gold difference for them, they're still able to get another objective. Nice little bit of a force there. As you can see, the carries here for FlyQuest, all at the top of the gold charts, will be a problem. VicLa goes in again.
He's got Vulcan and Spica behind him, but if he can't get out, not even the flash! He couldn't get the flash out in time, just stunned up by Tactical and Treatz. Excellent play by Immortals.
Yeah, they were behind him, but they were way behind him, and VicLa feeling himself a little bit too much there. Messing with Tactical and Treatz. That ray of hope for Immortals is shining bright again.
And if they can get these accumulative small picks over and over, I mean, Tactical will get snowballed to the point where he can be almost unstoppable. We've talked about the many initiation tools that FlyQuest have, but if you're just getting wallet gapped at the end of the day, then there's very little that you can do against Immortals.
Yeah, especially in the face of Treatz here on the Rell, locking people up. For Tactical to be able to get these big blade callers, be able to get these kills for Immortals. And since they're the ones with the early dragons too, game plan from here on out for Immortals can certainly focus on these neutral objectives. Dragon number 2 just taken, so they turn their sights towards Rift Herald number 2, and Treatz is out here first, playing on the front lines. Bolulu with the threat of Twisted Fate ultimate backing him up. And it looks like VicLa staying bottom side for FlyQuest for now. We'll be able to push up the wave into the tower. Immortals have a little bit of a clock on their hands here because of VicLa's pressure on the tower. They're sending Bolulu down now, rotating him to bottom side. And so they're going to be a switcheroo. VicLa teleports up to the Rift Herald, and they should be able to pull it here, no problem. I think they should be able to get it. Twisted Fate being on bottom side would have to walk up here. There's a minion wave for him to deal with. I think Immortals will be happy. Just let that one go over to FlyQuest.
Yeah.
You know, they invested their teleport for it, and just have Bolulu push out towards the bottom tower.
Yeah, Tactical is target numero uno for FlyQuest. No reason to risk it over the second Rift Herald of the game, especially when you had to respond to the push that VicLa made on the bottom side of the map. It was a teleport investment from FlyQuest, so that is the objective trade that they get. The question is now, where do they want to send this? Because there's still turrets on all 3 lanes that they need to crack open.
Yeah, and I think keep on pressuring down for the bottom side for Immortals, since they've got pre-existing vision here. Should return a lot of rewards for them. They're able to get the turret, the wave all the way up to bottom side turret. Kenvi steals away the camp that's already been channeled here by Spica, and now they're looking around for those possible picks. That Twisted Fate ultimate, they haven't made a big play with it yet, but they're looking around for something to catch here towards the bottom half, and it is a K'Sante. Kind of hard to catch K'Santes, but it has been done before.
Well, if Immortals are thinking about making a play on Impact, FlyQuest are doing the exact same for Solo. And Solo's going to pay respect, back off the tower.
Yeah, Rumble definitely has a lot more difficult of a time escaping from 3-person collapses than a K'Sante does, so Solo gives the respect. He backs off, lets the Rift Trail take down his turret.
And so you're already seeing, as Immortals, you already mentioned, have control of that bottom side of the map because they've taken out the turret, and they can easily bleed vision into the bottom quadrant of the jungle. FlyQuest going to be playing for Baron's side. Now that they have access to the top quadrant of Immortals jungle, once we get to 20 minutes, that Baron side of the map is going to be so much more difficult for Immortals to be able to walk through safely.
Yeah, especially because FlyQuest do have a lot more options as far as their engage. FlyQuest, of course, with Vulcan and Impact, even Spica throwing out Qs, fishing around. VicLa constantly playing very aggressive on this Yone. Meanwhile, for the side of Immortals, it's basically all on Treatz. So much is on Treatz' shoulders here to really bring this team fight together and bring these picks together for Immortals. So far, Immortals have done well because he has actually hit the engages, and they've gotten a lot off of those Rell engages, being the 2 dragons that they've been able to secure so far. But if FlyQuest can deal with one...
Potential fight. Bolulu, Destiny Kate's in.
Got
looking for Spica. Spica's gone. Treatz is able to lock him down alongside Bolulu, and the damage from the rest of the backline follows up. Dragon spawning in 7 seconds and no jungler. That should be the 3rd dragon of the game going over to Immortals.
There you go. Twisted Fate finally makes the pick in onto the jungler. Treatz is there for the follow-up. They've got one play as far as the initiation goes, but if it works, that's going to be dragon number 3.
A gold card, no matter how far deficit you're experiencing, still works, baby.
Still stuns. They got the Ivern. They get the dragon. Immortals. That hope is still alive, Raafaa.
With a 3rd dragon on the table, that means they are at soul point. For Immortals, in a Cloud Drake might not be the most exciting in terms of raw power, but being able to cast your ultimate and get a nice burst of movement speed will help you navigate these fights, and that's going to be extremely important for someone like Tactical.
Yeah, Tactical. Oh, here we go. Treatz goes in.
Another pick, looking for Vulcan. Doesn't have ultimate available. Spica is able to cloud him in this bush.
Speaking of Tactical, though, with the Navori Quick Blades done, the Blade Colors hurt even more, and VicLa's going to try and continue pressuring on bottom side of the map while the rest of the team grouped up on mid to pressure them under tower.
Treatz wants to be able to open up this riverside, but FlyQuest have 3 men being able to guard that entrance there. So Treatz is relegated to sitting under the tower, guarding Tactical, making sure that they can hold this post.
And we're probably looking at a 4-minute kind of cautious timer here, where FlyQuest are going to continue to take outer turrets, but really Immortals are going to wait out until the big payoff of the Dragon Soul to pick that final fight. So as the clock ticks down, FlyQuest, they keep their pressure up. They get another outer tower here. VicLa gets even richer, but Immortals all have their sights set on the Dragon Soul arriving. Even though it is a Cloud Soul, definitely would give them that big boost.
Yeah.
Especially because it'll be pretty early in the game for one to hit. Right now, keeping a little bit of vision here on Baron just to make sure nobody gets any fancy ideas of rushing.
A teleport is coming in, though, from VicLa. Impact looking to isolate Solo with that all out, but he flashes away to safety, and Kenvi is there to escort him.
I like it. I thought he was going to go for the flash over the wall at the thick part, but never mind. Twist of Fate.
Going on to Prince. Equalizer goes down. It separates Spica and Prince, and now he's going to get caught up by Treatz' engage. The Magnastorm leeches it in into the Equalizer. VicLa trying to go for the re-engage as well. Vulcan punting away Tactical, but he can still do damage, and he's safe to feed Fryer into the backline. Solo is getting caught off by VicLa, but Tactical's looking for Prince. Prince flashing over the wall. Tactical wants to take out the royalty of FlyQuest. He goes to the air. He soars, and he slays Prince, but now he's isolated. VicLa, will he go down? No, he doesn't! He aces Tactical and the rest of Immortals.
Woo! The Cassante Yone duo here. FlyQuest solos on top. Absolutely demolished them in this fight. What a scattered one. Even though Immortals got an early start, it looked pretty good, because look at the early Rumble ultimate into follow-up here from Treatz. Twist of Fate teleports in, and he gets the cleanse out of Prince while actually stunning Ivern. So kind of a 2-for-1 value there. Then Treatz goes in, keeps the Ivern on the Rumble ultimate, and they get the first kill. But VicLa comes in, he splits the team with that ultimate. Impact comes over on the Cassante. They catch all the rest of them here in the jungle, pick up the extra kills. Cassante ultimate here onto Bolulu. Flash over from Impact follows that one true. And then even though Tactical is eventually able to get Prince, Tactical used everything. His flash, his ultimate to come chase down and get the kill on the enemy AD carry. Meanwhile, the FlyQuest solos had already taken care of the rest of the squad.
It was so close, and you can tell that how many threats Tactical has to deal with in this game, which is why it seems like the weight of the world is on his shoulders as the rest of FlyQuest find the pick on the Kenvi. No jungler. FlyQuest are going to test their mettle and look for the Baron.
All right, that's a Vulcan ultimate. VicLa didn't have to use his, though, in the kill they just got on enemy jungle. It's going to be hard for Immortals to do anything. They've got no smite steal. Treatz gets interrupted on the wall.
Oh, does he just go down to the soul unbound? It's a lot of damage. He was forced to use the Magnet Storm, so no chance for a counter engage from Immortals. Even if they want to lay down the Equalizer right on top of the Baron, they're going to still go for it. Bolulu is teleporting in. He has Destiny, so he has vision of every single member of FlyQuest. VicLa going over the wall, isolating Solo. He's got nowhere to run. The soul unbound is going to be enough damage. Prince with the killer instinct assists his brethren for the slay of Solo.
And with Baron-powered recall, the recalls are so fast they can go back, spend their money, and still get there in time to set up to stop the Dragon Soul. Huge rewards in the last few minutes here for FlyQuest. VicLa and Impact doing so much work.
What a glow-up game for VicLa. This has probably been, his roughest split so far. I want to say, I didn't get a chance to see a lot of his career in LCK, but with all the promise that we got from coming over to NA and then his spring split going to this one, he's had a lot to answer. He's had own doubts, sharing with multiple journalists, but here, this is a step-up game. This is a glow-up game that he needs to be able to bring forward and deliver if FlyQuest want to have a chance to continue into playoffs for the summer season.
All right, teleport. This is a deep teleport. Vulcan's already next to him.
Oh God, Bolulu, I don't know if he's gonna be able to get anything off. He's running for his life with the ghost as well, and he gets out. He throws a gold cord just at Daisy, but he's gonna have to come back from the fountain.
Where are you going, Bolulu? Teleports and runs through the whole FlyQuest team to go back home again. That Dragon Soul is not gonna be collected yet. That means FlyQuest for sure should be able to secure this one.
Dragon Soul denied from Immortals. That's tough for them, and FlyQuest continue hammering this lead in. It's only 4,000 in their favor, but right now you can start to see the grasp of the game that they are starting to just stranglehold out of Immortals.
All right, so Impact trying to get anything he can out of Tactical. He's just trying to poke around, see if he can get any summer spells or anything. But then we have this super deep teleport, and Vulcan had already flanked around behind. So he's there for the headbutt, and Bolulu's got to scoot it all the way out of there, even with the Ignite on him. Barely gets back to the team, doesn't die. But still, that sacrifices the objective, and that was a big possible payout for Immortals. They'd been building to that Dragon Soul, and that Dragon Soul kind of getting...
Oh, VicLa goes golden. Bolulu teleporting in to catch him over the wall, but he just gives the Fate Sealed advantage over to VicLa, so he gets out alive. And now he's going to go back in with the Soul Unbound. Maybe a little too deep on that one, buddy. Immortals end up trading 1-for-1, and now Impact is testing his strength against the rest of Immortal squad. What the hell is going on?
What are we watching right now? They lost their minds, Raafaa. Impact just went for a 1v4 again. He was like, yesterday, I got a double kill on the 1v4. His whole team's running away, though, and he's a Cassante this time around, not having the damage output. Now we got another little bit of a bait possibly here. My goodness. That puts a stop to the Baron push, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Kobe, I don't know what to say after that one.
They're getting pumped. There's so much pressure right now, Raafaa. This is the last week right before playoffs, and both these teams need this win. While it's not an absolute numerical elimination for FlyQuest if they don't win, it makes it really, really hard, and they need a lot of help from other teams. So both these teams desperately want this win. The pressure kind of getting to them there, getting a little bit hyped up with the momentum that FlyQuest had and the success that they had in the previous fights. But both solo laners this time around going in a
little too deep.
Going in one at a time. The ants go marching in one by one, and the ants go back to the fountain one by one.
The classic. All right, FlyQuest, take a deep breath. Immortals, take a deep breath.
Yeah. Remember, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Help you calm down. And turn your sights towards some setup here. Bolulu and Immortals need to refocus on their win conditions. Twisted Fate ultimate in with a gold card near Treatz so that you can kill someone. Gold card into the Rell combo should be able to get you a kill on anyone. They just need to try and find a sort of a pick here. It's getting more difficult, of course, because FlyQuest, with the extra gold that they've gotten, have been keeping the waves pushed out. And now it's even more difficult because stopwatch on Spica, Guardian Angel on VicLa. They have to deal with a lot of these stasis. Another stopwatch on Prince. So all these members on FlyQuest that you would want to kill actually have a bunch of stasis defensive options, either stopwatch or Guardian Angel answers. So it makes it really difficult here, the choice for Immortals on who to pick and where to pick them.
Yeah. This is the price they have to pay for not being able to get that snowball off in the early stages of the game. If it were the other way around, they could have just ran over FlyQuest, but now they have to deal with the consequences. And FlyQuest, they're the ones that have mounted such a affordable composition for themselves at this stage of the game, because not only you've talked about the GAs and the stopwatches, you have to deal with Ivern shield. At this point in the game, between Moonstone and Redemption, the heal power is almost insurmountable from Immortals.
Yeah, and I would say from FlyQuest's point of view, it can be very dangerous to play all three lanes when you're playing against a Twisted Fate. Immortals, they're basically their one way through this game is get a pick on you while you're playing all three lanes, and then be able to get an objective, either a Baron or a Dragon Soul off of it. So if I was FlyQuest, I might even consider sacrificing one of the areas and just trying to play two lanes instead, so that you're more safe and you can buy time for the rest of your team to rotate over to you. Even if you do get caught, buy time with your stopwatch or your Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
And if you're only playing two, then you can just rotate over and keep things a little bit more safe and remove one of the variables that Immortals can try and throw at you to get a pick. But here we go. K'Sante on the flank here for Impact. He's behind them all.
Teleport from Solo, emerges into the red jungle. Immortals trying to take control of this river entrance, preventing FlyQuest from being able to punch their way in through the mid lane. Impact on the left side of this flank. They're looking to pincer them. VicLa is building up that third strike, looking for the Fate Seal. Doesn't even need it. Does it take out Tactical? And Tactical's gone! What kind of damage can Immortals support back against FlyQuest? The GA pops. VicLa's gonna go down, but he comes back up. And they can look for a second win in the fight. FlyQuest, they know they have Baron up on the table, but also Dragon Soul is available once again, and that is the objective they need to deny against Immortals.
Exactly. Got to deny the Dragon first, then you can look towards the top side of the map. Now, Kenvi is alive, but I don't know how a Graves would even get over there. Try and fire after ultimate for the Miracle Steal. Not going to be the case here. Completely denied. FlyQuest get another Dragon Soul denial for themselves. And let's see. Keep VicLa bottom side. His teleport is still ready, so have Yone push out bottom wave, rotate everybody else back to base, get your control wards, and move up towards Baron.
That was such a huge pick. I didn't even realize it was tactical at first. It just didn't seem possible that the front line would be able to clip him so easily, but I imagine we get that replay back. It looked like it was a Vulcan and VicLa just being on the same page at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I think back, actually Tactical kind of exposing himself. He walked up here. He was the frontline member of Immortals going up into the river here, looking maybe for like a Q poke or something, but got way too close to the many options of engage for FlyQuest. Now they're in a very dire situation. Immortals returning to the mid lane, returning to the exact same spot here, trying to push out mid before moving towards Baron again. And Spica from the brush keeps on throwing out these Ivern Qs. Anytime one of those lands, you have to worry about the follow-up because it's just such a nice combo with Alistar.
Yeah.
You can just take the Ivern Q, then you can go for a WQ on your prio target, even if the Ivern Q was on like a frontline member. So many options here. Bolulu.
Oh, they look on to Bolulu. He's forced to flash. Equalizer right on top of the entrance. Vulcan pops the ultimate so he doesn't take that much damage from Solo's ultimate. It's a couple spells traded back and forth. No one goes down in the aftermath.
Looks like they're calling for a reset here. Maybe we've got an item purchase. A bunch of pings went down. Bolulu's going to teleport right back out after his base. And FlyQuest, they've got prio here on Baron. Vision has been secured. Daisy is up and tanking now.
Only ultimates available. Magma Storm and Feather Storm Can Immortals get into the Baron pit? 4,000 HP. VicLa's on the right side looking for the flank now. Tactical is going to zone him off as well. Baron has been reset and is going back to full HP. Immortals trying to maintain aggro on Baron so that they can look for a Baron attempt themselves. But their position in the river here. Is anyone on the flank from FlyQuest? It doesn't seem like it yet. Impact is trying to circle around right now. Look for that opening. See if he can isolate one of the members of Immortals. Meanwhile, Kenvi is trying to grab midway prio. Look for damage as a collateral. They get tier 1 turret. It is just a massive Baron dance back and forth.
Nice push there from Immortals to get an objective. VicLa's trying to charge up his Q on the red buff, but Kenvi's going to find him.
VicLa is isolated on the right side in the red buff. He goes back with the soul unbound. Vulcan opens up with the engage as well. Treatz answers back with Magnustorm on top of it. Impact is trying to soak up as much damage as he can. VicLa looks for the face shield, only finds Kenvi. Tactical is safe. They find VicLa trading Treatz, but that's an advantage trade for Immortals, and now they're going to look at the Baron.
Really, really good decision making from Immortals. They get mid tower while FlyQuest are split. Then they come over, they find the Yone, they push them out. They're going to burn down Baron. Spica's alive. Could it be a smite fight? Can he get in there?
Yeah, but he got to be careful. Prince is firing out Void Seekers, and these things hurt at this stage in the game. Impact goes in. Killer is in from Prince. He's looking for the assassination. He goes golden with the stopwatch as well, and he's able to take them all out. Immortals, they're stuck, and Kenvi's still alive. He can look for a Baron steal potentially. He has vision on the Baron pit. It would be a miracle if he could pull this one out for Immortals. They have no idea. They finally don't go for the control ward, and Kenvi has to go in blind, but he's not going to chance it unless he can. But Vulcan puts him out. He takes him out of the club, says you cannot get in, and the Baron is secured for FlyQuest.
Vulcan, the bouncer of Club Baron, denies Kenvi entry, and FlyQuest secure another one. Wow. Okay, so this is the beginning that was actually really well played by Immortals. They got the E out of VicLa up by red buff, and so VicLa, look at that. He joined so late to this team fight because he was separated on the flank, got found out on the red buff while he was trying to charge up Qs, and Immortals, they put themselves inside the Baron pit. Impact goes in. The W to group up all three of them, allowing for Prince to Killer Instinct into the back and decimate the squad. Huge setup by Impact, huge follow through by Prince, and FlyQuest wearing purple once again. They will continue to push. Here comes the siege.
And even though for FlyQuest it has been a continuous 4,000 gold lead for the past 10 minutes, the Stranglehold has even gotten more deadly for Immortals. The suffocation is starting to settle in. They're losing room. They're finding less and less places to breathe against FlyQuest's Stranglehold on this game.
All right. 4-1 split push here for FlyQuest. Baron empowered cannons. They've got 2 cannons stacked up. Immortals going for it.
Bolulu looking. He has Kenvi in the backline, but Vulcan goes right back in. Fade sail from VicLa! That's the decimation onto the members of Immortals! Tactical and Treatz are the only ones left standing. Kenvi gets rezzed up back from the GA. Tactical is able to feather call back and root up members from FlyQuest. They're able to walk out, but still losing solo, and Bolulu is deadly for them.
You mess with the bull and you get the horns. They gold carded Vulcan. He just pops Alistar ultimate and gets a 4-person combo, allowing for Yone to follow up. That's going to be FlyQuest inside the base, Raafaa. They are going to take at least a couple of inhibitors, maybe even end the game with 20 seconds left on both Immortal solo laners.
And Baron buff on their side. They surely can make the push here, Kobe. Immortals are going to do everything they can to defend this game. This is playoff stakes on the line for them. They have to make this ditch work. FlyQuest are going to look to push in, but no more. The second inhibitor falls, and that's all they're going to get.
Yeah, a little bit too much there in front of the towers. Teleport coming out. Immortals want to catch them before they reset. Immortals know if FlyQuest get the reset here, spend their money, FlyQuest will be in an excellent position to actually end the game. So they're desperate. They're trying to chase them down before they can actually spend that money. Okay, Dragon Soul on the table.
Bolulu gets sight of all of them. Who can save from FlyQuest? Who can be here to stop them from taking the Dragon? They're burning it down. Dragon Soul should be secured here. It is claimed. And Kenvi's able to get it, but now can they get away from Impact before the rest of the members of FlyQuest are able to reset? VicLa's on the top side of the map. He's going to look for the third inhibitor.
Stop the bases!
FlyQuest, if they can stop the bases, maybe VicLa can do major damage, but it's only the third inhibitor that they can get.
I will say a third inhibitor is major damage also, because then you get double stacked up super minions every single lane. Yeah. So now FlyQuest, even though they gave up a Cloud Soul, there's not much space for Immortals to use the extra move speed after they pop their ultimates, because they're going to be pinned inside their bases. all sides sieged up by double super minions. FlyQuest, they can now regroup and look to finish the job once they have all their cooldowns back, once they spent all their money. They're heading straight for it. All that stands between FlyQuest and continuing their win streak here in the last week are 2 Nexus turrets and an inhibitor. Oh, Impact, though, gets chunked out. Can they make something happen here?
Half HP, Tactical forces him out, but pop the ghost. He still doesn't have a flash available for the next 30 seconds or so. FlyQuest are pincered off. Impact is separated. He's going to go for the all-out on the Tactical. No way he out-damages him, right? He pops the stopwatch, but Tactical should be able to finish him off. Impact gets out! He doesn't have teleport. He can't join the fight. The rest of the Immortals are going to do everything they can to defend this base from FlyQuest, but they're getting punchered in. Tactical has to rejoin the fight and lay some damage down. He's life-stealing off the minions as best as he can. Solo is holding the front line. Vulcan looking for another Impact engage. Tactical is able to find another one, but man, Prince is just on a mission to stay in the race for playoffs. Tactical finds VicLa. There's so many low HP members on the side of FlyQuest. Tactical has to do everything. He goes golden. Impact looking for the CC. The root maker for Spica. He goes golden as well. FlyQuest keep their hopes alive as they take this win against Immortals.
FlyQuest, they came into this week knowing they're going to have to leave it all on the Rift, and they do just that. Big win yesterday, following it up with another big win today, keeping their playoff hopes alive. VicLa on the Yone this time around. He's had good games since he came back on the Jace, and so everyone was wondering, is it just the Jace? Yone comes up pretty big for them, though, even with a couple of moments where the solo laner's going in a little bit over aggressive. They still calm down, they refocus, back to the objectives, and they get their win.
On the other side, heartbreak for the members of Immortals.
Wow.
That's it. That's the end of their season. They still have one more game to play tomorrow, but it does not change the fact they are no longer in contention for playoffs. And for FlyQuest, you can see elated faces from the staff and the crew. They've done everything they can as far as today to control their fate and destiny. Still one more game to play tomorrow, and of course other games that have to be played out that play in their favor. But with that, we're going to be joining Jatt, Impact, and Prince on stage for a Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you very much, Raafaa. I do see everyone holding up the one, and I ran into you in the hall yesterday, Prince, and said 2 more games. Tell me what this means for you.
뭐란 거요?
그러니까
네.
너가 너 이거 했었잖아.
Yeah.
이거 했었지. 그리고 이제 한 게임 남았잖아.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow last game will be fire.
Impact, you've had 2 really big games on Rumble and on K'Sante. How have you elevated your play?
I don't know. I just play normal, I think. I didn't do special that much. I thought like only I did well about the hero fight to bring the Rumble and solo kill it. That was good because I break that lane page because he cannot pressure me anymore. After that, I don't know what I did. I just play normal, I guess.
Just play good. So what needs to happen is you need to win, and 100 Thieves also has to lose. Are you going to be watching the 100 Thieves game today?
Sure, we're playing now.
That's only our hope.
That's only our hope. I mean,
sorry, Dad.
I don't say it to Peter, but good luck, Peter. You can do something better for me.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Impact Prince. I'll let you go watch the games and play tomorrow. So congratulations once again, and we're going to send it to Emily for an ode to Immortals.
Ode time.
Welcome back to the LCS Lounge, where I am going to write an ode to Immortals. This is shamelessly lifted from Kelsey Moser, current EG coach, who used to do these for eliminated LPL teams. And as you just heard, IMT are eliminated from playoff contention with this loss. So Immortals, you are a team in the LCS, true. I think we only got to see a glimpse of how this team would work at its best. I truly believe that. I love you because you have fun players for interviews and content. Immortals players are really good for content. I agree with Doublelift that a not mental boomed tactical can be one of the best ADs in the LCS, and we saw some of that in your games this split, and that was really cool. I actually think Tactical in particular on the back half of their split had really good performances. Can I ask you, who calls your early game? I'm just curious. Immortals, you are sadly unable to reach immortality. We're going to break.
And Solo might get collapsed on here, top side. Throws down the equalizer, but he's got VicLa he has to deal with. A 1v2, I don't think you're winning this one, buddy. Arena 2v2, but Solo forgot to bring his partner. VicLa trying to go for the re-engage as well. Vulcan punting away Tactical, but he can still do damage, and he's safe to feed Fire into the back line. Solo is getting cut off by VicLa, but Tactical's looking for Prince. Prince flashing over the wall. Tactical wants to take out the royalty of FlyQuest. He goes to the air, he soars, and he slays Prince, but now he's isolated. VicLa, will he go down? No, he doesn't! He aces Tactical and the rest of Immortals.